Hello Scorpio friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my video, Jupiter in Aquarius, Scorpio Must Knows. I've got a nice list here of what we're going to cover in this video so that you can best use and know what's probably coming from Jupiter moving through Aquarius. So I'm talking about the time frame of the end of 2020 through the end of 2021, but if this video is still up 12 years from now, all of the information is going to be relevant except the timeline at the end that speaks to the 2021 dates. And if you're thinking about looking back in time, 2009, when this last happened, this information will be relevant for them. So this is a living document of the types of things that tend to come up for Scorpio placements regardless of when the Jupiter in Aquarius transit is, okay? The second must know is that Jupiter, or that this video is for you regardless of whether Scorpio is your moon or your rising or your sun, whatever your Scorpio placement, this has a place for you because all of your different placements, your sun, your moon, your rising, whatever you're watching for, are all like windows out of your house. They all show different things, but they're all happening at the same time and they're relevant for your experience in the house. Okay, so that's how I like in these different placements. So just so you know that those placements, this is for you too. So this is what we're going to cover. What Jupiter does. We want to know more about this planet so we can understand the nature of the transit. We want to talk about Jupiter in Aquarius and the global effects because that's going to definitely affect you. And we want to talk about exactly where in your chart Jupiter is going to be for you. And we want to talk about the angle that Aquarius makes for you and what subtle or not so subtle nuances that will bring to this whole equation. And then we'll talk about the timeline of when these exact hits of this specific angle will occur so that you can be very prepared for that and know what to expect. Okay, I'm all about helping you to know things beforehand so that you can make the most of the energies. Okay, so first on our list is the energy of Jupiter. Jupiter's the natural ruler of Sagittarius, so everything Saggy is everything Jupiter. Basically, Jupiter seeks to expand. It's that sage on the mountain that's looking down at the big picture. You know, it's the hope, and it's the dream, and the philosophizer, and it's the energy of benevolence and luck, expansion, growth, amplification. It's additive, and it's all about options. When Jupiter recently in 2020 moved through Capricorn, and still at the recording, as I'm recording this, it's still there, Jupiter wasn't happy there. And we all felt what that feels like when Jupiter's not happy. Okay, obviously there were other things that were going on. You can see more about that if you look for my How Astrology Explains the Coronavirus and everything else that has gone on. Just search for Annie Botticelli coronavirus. But Jupiter was a player in that, Jupiter in Capricorn. Jupiter does not like to be in Capricorn because it's restrictive, it hems it in, it's, limits it, it's, boring and stressful and, streamlined, and Jupiter wants to expand and bust out and amplify and grow everything and be excessive. So Jupiter in Aquarius is already, just without even looking at where it's going to be for you, it's already happier because that air energy is open and it's flexible and it can have some room to move and to work its magic. So the benefits of Jupiter, I think, will be much more apparent in the sign of Aquarius than it was through the sign of Capricorn. Okay, so that's the first must know. And the experience of options is likely going to be more profound because this energy of Aquarius is just a better match. Okay, now, the next thing on our list is what does the energy of Jupiter with Aquarius look like? Because that's the sign it's moving through. These things on this list are going to be front and foremost for everybody in some way or another. Jupiter wants to help you find your tribe. Okay, people across the world, everyone globally is experiencing this. They want to find the people who speak their same language, not their mother tongue, but like the one that is their soul language, that they resonate with, the people who get excited about the same things they get excited about and have the same interests and have the same viewpoints. People are looking to find their tribe, All right, and Jupiter in this sign is going to help us connect with more like-minded people to bind together and show the power of the group. The power of the group is key. Okay, so finding your people that you connect with, but also the energy of one human family and the energy of the human group, as far as like humanitarian efforts and large organizations and sustainability efforts. So anything that has to do with, if you're in those lines of work or you want to be, or you're looking for where to step into, anything that is online, internet-based projects, anything that is local community development, those are really great ways to go, because Jupiter is going to be enhancing that. And you can kind of see why with what's happened, but this was going to be happening anyway. So if you want to get on social media, if you want to have an account and have people follow your work, this is fantastic energy for that. If you want to connect with finding people on social media that you resonate with and benefiting from the things they're offering, this is great for that. If you want to expand your friendship circle or see the friends that you love more, this is excellent for that. Expand your dating, expand any networking. This is the thing. This is all Aquarius, okay? And Jupiter wants to help. So if you have inventions also, like if you're an inventor and you want to bring ideas out, Jupiter wants to help with that too. Okay. So now we're going to talk about specifically where Jupiter is for Scorpio. Now, if you followed my work for a while, you know that I will often tell you that sometimes these outer planet transits will cause a stagger, meaning certain parts of the Scorpio spectrum won't have the same experience as other parts because of a delayed transit. But this is an exception, because the way that Jupiter is going to move is going to race through Aquarius between now and December and May. Okay, and then it's going to get to a very late degree of, actually it's going to get into Pisces, early degree of Pisces. Then it's going to retrograde back to still a very late degree of Aquarius, and then it's going to go back out to Pisces. So because of that transit, all of the Scorpio placements are going to have a very immediate focus on this fourth house. Okay, so I just wanted to point out, in case you have that question, that this is an exception to that. Now, it will take November-born Scorpios a little longer for this to come into the big forefront, like maybe February, March. But you'll feel the whispers of it, and things can definitely come up with this. Okay, so this is where Jupiter is focusing. Your emotions in your inner world and healing your inner child. Anything having to do with homes and housing, moves and sales and purchases and occupants and repairs and additions and building and roommates and everything like that, all is being brought into the forefront. Now remember, if we think about the things that Jupiter was about, it's about options, okay? So you might have a lot of options when it comes to housing. You might be trying to pick between where you want to live. And in some cases, your answer might be more than one place. We are going to see this general trend with the outer planets moving into Aquarius and things going online. People are going to have more options where they live because they won't have to be where they work. So you might be in this. And that could allow you to have a home in one place, or a residence in one place and a residence in another place, kind of like a snowbird or some other situation like that. This is a must know for Scorpios. Scorpios tend to think of things as one all-encompassing directive, right? You're very fixed up with your gaze sometimes, where you wholly focus on one thing. What Jupiter wants to really bring to you at this time, especially in the housing arena, is the idea of multiple options, okay? Also, gearing your house up to have multiple functions. Maybe a rental unit in the garage, maybe an RV on the premises, then renting out the house. Like anything that expands or adds to the options of this fourth house, okay? And this also goes for any businesses that are home-based. So there's going to be an increase in home-based options for work for Scorpios, and like working in home-related fields. So real estate, feng shui, design, anything having to do with building, construction, repair, any kind of home housing based, or landscaping, things like that. So you might have opportunities in those lines of work, or you might find that those things are relevant to you in some other way. Jupiter in the 4th house might also expand your family. So you might have a child join your family, whether that's your immediate household or whether it's a cousin or a sister or brother. Your actual family size may increase through birth or through marriage or through some other getting together. So, you know, you might have more relatives. And if you're trying to start a family or expand your family, this is really great. And if you're not trying to start or expand a family, this still might be working. So you have to be extra careful if you're not trying to have kids, because there are certain aspects where Jupiter goes that can make fertility increase, and this is one of them. You might find that in things with your ancestry or genealogy, either from the health perspective or just from a general interest perspective, you might find some relatives. You might, you know, join something having to do with researching your ancestry, or people with common ancestral bounding or whatever, you know, where you have something in common with people from your ancestry. And as I mentioned before, the childhood psychology. So these are going to come up in very big ways, and there are going to be lots of opportunities. Now, Jupiter sometimes does make things a little messy and excessive as it seeks to expand. So there might be some more emotion or some family things that come up that might not seem positive, that are in an effort to find solutions. And in some cases, it brings homes, housing, and family into the forefront in a way that is stressful. So that is also possible, that certain family things may go on. Now we're going to talk about the time frame of when you might feel that extra tension, and also the angle. Okay, so the angle that is made between Aquarius and Scorpio is a 90-degree angle. And a 90-degree angle is an angle of tension. I call it the diamond making angle. So if you've ever mined for diamonds deep in a cave, which I have not, but I know from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs that when you dig them out, that they're dirty. They don't look shiny, right? And that's the first thing we know, is that it needs to be polished, right? But the other thing that we know about is that it takes a lot of pressure to make a diamond. Okay, so diamonds are formed in the earth under a lot of pressure. So this 90-degree angle, you must know about this, it takes a lot of pressure, right? And it sometimes is the polishing process. Okay, so all of these things that we talked about, because of the angle that is being made with Aquarius in your placement, you might have some extra work trying to balance the things that come in, or there might be some tensions or challenges in those areas that are going to need your attention. And that can be true during any of the time at the end of 2020 through the end of 2021. But when it exactly makes the angle to your placement, it increases the odds. Okay, so we're going to look at that now. Getting a little froggy here, sorry about that. So for those of you who are October born, there's an increase in chance of this discomfort or these challenges or these notable things that require your attention in December and January. Okay, so that's 0 to 9 degrees or October born. Now, it is also important to know you might have more than one Scorpio placement. And so more of these dates might be relevant for you and you don't even know it. So I always suggest that you run a free birth chart online. Just search for how you run a free birth chart. Then you can see if you have more than one Scorpio placement and what the degrees are. And then you can use that more detailed information that I give you to enhance your study of astrology. But if you're just working with your birth date, or if you know your rising sign or moon or whatever you're watching for, you can still work with this, okay? So if you're in the middle degree placements, so that's basically November 1st through 10th around, or 10 to 19 degrees. Then between February and the middle of March or so, that's when you'll have your extra kind of whatever it is that goes on. Now, those of you towards the end of the sign, so November 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees, and in particular between 22 and 29 degrees, you all will get more than one pass, okay? Except for those of you at 20 and 21 degrees, all the rest of you will get more than one pass. And those will occur between April and December. All right, now I will show you my grid of the rest of the year. But if you don't know your degrees, it's not going to do you any good. But for those of you who do know your degrees, then you can have the specifics here of when those exact passes will occur. All right, so this R means retrograde. This RX is retrograde, so it retrogrades. It's going to Pisces, actually. So, you know, it will go back to Pisces and then we'll come in. Or actually, it's not going to go back to Pisces. It's going to go into Pisces and it's going to come back. And then we'll go back through 29, 25, 25 to 22. 22 will hover at 22. So if you're at 22 degrees, all of October is just going to be sitting there and into November. And then back up to 25, 25 to 29, and then finally out. All right. So that is what it looks like. So those are going to be points of those tension, those diamond making points that we talked about. So if you want to have more information on how the current astrology can be helpful to you, you'll definitely want to sign up for my free email newsletter and get my write-up. If you go to anniehelpsyou.com, I do a very intensely focused, detailed write-up for my email community that I deliver to your inbox once a month early, 1 month early rather, okay? And this will give you the sweet dates, the salty dates, what the aspects are, what you can expect from them, what the general mood is of the month, and all of that's delivered to your inbox in writing. If you also want to peruse anniehelpsyou.com, there are lots of blogs, especially a lot of astrology blogs. And all of the links that I'm giving you are in the notes underneath this video. So if you don't remember what I'm saying, just click on the more button with the arrow and all the links that I'm sending you to will be there. And most of the things that I'm talking about are free, more free things for you. So you'll definitely want to look at them. The next free things are some free courses. My school, Luminous Life Multiversity, I have several free courses, including Unleash Your Money Magnet and some other ones. So you can go to lumelife.com, L-U-M-E life.com. You can also see some of my paid courses there, and they are crazy comprehensive, including my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. So if you resonate with how I teach and you want to learn either for your own purposes, for your self-development or help your friends or family, or if you want to do it as all or part of a professional offering, I will tell you exactly what to do, how to be successful doing that. So you can see that at lumelife.com. And if you want written horoscopes by me that are much more simple than my detailed videos, then you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. Also, I have lots of astrology kissed blogs that will bring astrology into all different facets of life. If you're not already a watcher of my monthly horoscope videos, then you will definitely want to do that, because I put those out 4 to 6 weeks early so that you can have them for your planning purposes. My mission is to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe. That is the center of my work, and that is the name of my new book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. So you can get that on Audible, you can get that on Kindle, you can get that in print, beautiful hardcover, and I suggest that you get it on Audible and in the hardcover print, because you'll want the hardcover as a reference book, and you'll want the Audible to listen to it straight through because it's long. Because I have a lot of details and I put so much work into it, it's completely insane. I can't even believe it. So if you're watching this before December 8th, Amazon will give you a 20% discount for print sales. You can just search for Annie Botticelli Planetology. You'll find it somewhere, anywhere. Penguin Random House is the distributor outside of the UK, so in the United States and everywhere else. Inside the UK, publisher and distributor is Watkins Media. You can see all of that information. So I hope you have a wonderful transit of Jupiter in Aquarius, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.